Hello, my name is Xander from Tarrytown, and welcome to your North Trail 24 BHS. Just going to start this off by saying it is still in prep, so I do apologize for not having it completely ready. But by the time you pick it up and receive this video, it should be all nice and set. But otherwise, moving right up front, you're going to have your front power jack here. You're going to have a light, just in case you do need to hook up at night. You're going to have retract and extend for your power tongue jack there. Just in case this does ever electrically go out, you can peel this little black tab up here and insert a manual override tool, and then that will then, like I said, manually override this system, and you can crank this up or down just in case this ever electrically goes out. Moving right behind here, you're gonna have your two propane tanks, and you're gonna have this little regulator switch. As you can see, it's just like a little knob that you can twist back and forth to choose whatever propane tank you want to use. And then back here, you have your battery. Solar prep, so if you do have a small portable solar panel, you just got to make sure it fits that right there. Otherwise, you have your front passenger storage and your battery disconnect right here on the left. All this does is connect and disconnect the battery from the inside of the camper. This is going to be your water heater. So moving down here, this is going to be your cap for your water heater. Obviously make sure it's nice and tight, but I'm just going to kind of set it on here, more of just like a visual representation than anything. But just make sure that's nice and tight, and then go to the inside of your camper and turn on the hot side of your faucet. Once the hot side of your faucet is on, it's going to sputter for a little bit, but that's just all the hot air getting pushed out of your tank. Or not the hot air, but just the air getting pushed out. So once you have a steady flow of water coming out the hot side of the faucet, and this is on nice and tight, then you can go ahead and turn this on and use it. Then when it comes time to empty it, just go ahead, pull the pressure release right here. It is going to hiss, obviously releasing the pressure. And once it's done hissing, go ahead, take this back off, and then you are all set, and the water will drain right out of there. And when you're done, pop that down, and put that right back up. Moving to your stabilizer jacks here, I just have extend and retract. You're going to want to hold extend until it hits the ground, and once it does, hold it for another half second more, just so it can actually have pressure pushed down to the ground, because obviously you want it to be stable. It's not meant to raise it up, it's just meant to stabilize. So then moving back here, this is going to be your camp power or shore power right here. And then right here is going to be a satellite or cable input for TVs on the inside. So if your campground does offer that, that's where it will go. Otherwise right here, city water connection. When you get to a campground, this is where you are going to want to fill up, or not fill up, but insert your campground hose, because this is going to be the main water source there. This is going to be your outside shower, hot and cold side of the lines, and you're going to have your shower head and hose all inside there. Moving down to your sewer connection, you're going to have black tank and gray tank pull there. Your gray tank is going to be on the left, and the black tank is going to be on the right. So with that, all you do is just go ahead, grab and pull, and it'll empty. So your black tank is going to consist of your toilet, and then your gray tank is going to be consisting of shower and sink. So going along with that, I recommend doing your black tank first, just because it's the dirtiest water. So all you do is just grab it, pull it open, it's going to drain. After that, leave that open and put a pressurized hose into here. It's just underneath your city water connection. This is going to be your black tank flush. So your black tank flush is just going to be a small little sprinkler inside of your sewer system to help kind of flush any toilet paper or anything that may have gotten stuck out. And then just go ahead, close that, and then open your gray tank back up and let the gray tank kind of flush out the rest of the hose. So when you go to put your hands on it, it should be a lot more cleaner than it would have been. And then right here, you have your back stabilizer jacks. You have a backup camera prep. And then coming to your little outside kitchen area, you're going to have your fridge, and then your little griddle part here. I can get this open with one hand. There we go. You just press in. What can you say? Press in, turn, and then you can hear it click. That's just it igniting. So you press, turn. Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but yeah, you kind of see it zap, but that's just your igniter. And then obviously when it sparks, you just go ahead and choose your temperature, maximum or minimum flame. And then to get gas to this, right behind there is going to be your little LP quick connect. It looks just like this. It's just your quick connect hose. And it connects from the back of this down to this LP quick connect there. And that is then going to give you LP gas, so that can light. Well, there's right here, furnace exhaust. So when your furnace is on, all the extra heat is going to be kicking out of here. So for little kids, animals, anything like that, when your furnace is on, just try to keep them away from this metal piece there. Freshwater connection. So for an example, the only time you're ever going to need to use this big tank is when you're going rustic camping or anything like that. So for example, if you're going camping out in the middle of nowhere, national parks, stuff like that, you're going to want to fill this water reservoir, obviously with water. And then when you're out there, you can turn on your water pump, and that pump is going to draw water from this and push it through your lines. So in all reality, it's just one big tank full of water that you can use when you're not hooked up to city water connection. Otherwise, right here you have 110 outlets. And then the other side here, you're going to have your hitch and the other parts for it. Your salesperson will help you hook up at the end. So I'm going to bring this up here. This is going to be your 25-foot drinking hose. This is going to be a 110 adapter. So just in case you do need to plug this unit into your house to start cooling your fridges or something like that, you are able to with this. And then this is your sewer hose, which I do recommend getting a quote-unquote premium one, indestructible one, something like that, just to make sure that that will last a lot longer, because this will only last a little while. And then back there for the cranks, that big one is going to be doubled as the manual override for your front crank there. And then moving to the inside, we're going to have your awning and your slide. All you do is hold in and out. Then once you hear it die off, you know your slide is fully extended. And then moving over here, you're gonna have all of your light switches. And then this is for a TV. It says it can fit up to 55 inches. And then you also have your main little input here, which you can switch between your little coax right here. So cable, satellite, stuff like that. You just tap that. Then you have your 110 outlets here, and then an HDMI cord here. And then down here is going to be your radio, which you can also connect to your TV. We just tap right there to turn on. Move this back and forth for volume. Tap to do equalizer. And then zone 1, inside speakers, which you can turn off. Zone 2, outside speakers, which you can turn off. Or if you just want a quick mute, you just tap the top right. Otherwise, Bluetooth, AM, FM, aux, pause, play, and you have your HDMI and USB here. And then you also have where you can switch channels right there. Otherwise, you just hold, and it turns off just like that. Moving to your keys. Purple ones are going to be for your main doors. And then these gray ones are going to be for your baggage doors. You can have your microwave here. You're going to have fan and light there. And then for your oven and stove, tap to turn on, and you just press, turn to release the gas, and you spark to the right, and then it will ignite. So for your igniter, you always want to turn to the right, because if you do turn to the left, it will snap off, because it's not meant to go that way. So you just twist, just like that, and you'll be just set. Same goes for the rest of the burners. Just press in, turn, and ignite. For your oven, it's a little bit different. Right back there, that little silver piece right there is going to be where the gas comes out and where it ignites. So to do that, you just press in, turn to the pilot symbol. It's going to start to release the gas. And you sit there and spark, 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 spark until you see a small flame appear where that gray piece was. And then when that gray, or when the flame appears, you just go ahead, let go, and then switch to your temperature needed. fridge. If you open this up, right up top there is going to be where you will control the temperature. But the higher the number, the colder it gets, so just keep that in mind, and you can set it with that button there. And then for your freezer, same thing, left is cold, and then the further right it goes, the colder it gets. Otherwise, right here, can be your thermostat. Tap to turn on. Keep tapping through. You have fan settings, cool settings, which is your AC, and then furnace, which is your heat. And then, of course, up and down arrows for temperature change there. Got your bunks. And then inside here, the main three things with your bathroom. For your toilet, you're going to want to realize that it's a foot flush. You just press down with your foot and it is going to flush. And then also with that, you're going to want to pay attention to two main things. You want to have RV grade toilet paper and toilet solution. Those two things are going to help make sure everything breaks down, and then make sure everything flows nice and easy out your black tank to then, so you won't need to replace your lines or anything like that. It'll just flow all nice and easy. Right behind here is going to be your main readers. So what I mean by that is you press down and it'll tell you how full things are getting. So battery, fresh tank, black tank, and gray. Obviously once you start using them, it'll fill up so you know when to empty it. And you have two elements to your water heater, so gas and electric. So here's gas, here's electric. If you're plugged into shore power, I recommend just doing electric. So you don't have to waste your propane unless you don't care. Then you can actually do both at the same time and get the most amount of power or the most amount of heat. And then for your water pump, so the only time you're going to need to use this is really with your fresh tank. Other than that, you just flick it on and it'll suck water from your fresh tank and push it through your lines. Just outside your bathroom, you're going to have your breakers and fuses here. You can have breakers, it's all going to be labeled just like a house would be. And then for your fuses, I do recommend bringing some extras just in case, but that's just a personal recommendation. If you do decide to bring some, you can pick those up at any auto parts stores, like an AutoZone or something like that, for example. And then right down here is going to be your carbon monoxide detector. So this is always going to be running as a safety feature. You can even see that little green light. That just indicates that it's on. So with that, what I do recommend doing is if you're going to leave your camper for 3 to 4 days, and obviously if you're not going to be in there, just make sure your battery disconnect is disconnected. And then as one final little look over, little feature, just make sure that little green light is for sure off. Because if it's not for sure off, then it'll start to draw from your battery. But once you turn your disconnect off, it should kill this. You should be all set. Otherwise, for your AC, when you turn it on, obviously this is the main little register here. What most people will do is when they get to a campground, it's going to be all hot and everything like that. So they'll open these up and let it dump out the bottom. So what they'll do, they open that up to make sure it starts to kind of cool the main room and everything like that. And then once it starts to cool down, they'll go ahead and close it. And then since it's all ducted, it'll then start to flow out the little circles in the ceiling like that. Otherwise, here's your bedroom. And then for a lot of these little lights, like these ones, like in the one that you saw in your bedroom, just flick, because those won't turn off with your main switches. Other than that, that pretty much concludes it. So if you do have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. Either email me or just write down your list of questions and bring them in when you come to pick it up and we do your in-person show through. Yeah, otherwise than that, that has been your orientation. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoy.